data. There were instructions specific to, our business need or that record need, where we wanted to see, names from all sorts of different countries since this is the Olympics. So for instance, here with Records Chat, a use case that we ran into is that we were working with a customer who was using Records Chat to generate information. So if they were on a case about a student and the student record. And so they were using the student record to then generate an email to send to the student about a specific topic. So they used the additional instructions parameter to specify, what their schedule is, the academic schedule for that year, so that if it mentioned dates within the generated information, all of that would be included in the instructions sent to the language model so that the dates would be correct in the output there.
Yeah. No, Records Chat is very cool. Remind me what I am missing for setting this up right now to be able to get information about the ticket from the order. We can do that.
Is the ticket a related?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so
so it's one-to-many to order to ticket.
Yeah, you just need to specify that relationship.
There that is.
Oh, okay, I see there. So you need to go into the fields record
and add the. Okay, I will have this set up already for tomorrow. I remember this now.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
You can just do POG order ticket. You don't have to specify the field.
Oh, nice. Okay, then so that's easier because I remember when it first came out, it was every single field.
Yeah, then we fixed it.
Okay, good. Okay. All right, so so what kind of question would make the most sense to ask in this context, do you think, that would give us a good result?
I guess how many tickets are available?
There are 2 tickets. Okay.
You could also ask a different question more about generating information, like create an email, or I can send my friends information about this event.
Oh yeah. Maybe I can actually, can I also do, is this only one-to-many, or could I do the many-to-one to event? No, not yet.
One-to-many.
One-to-many. Okay. So I could say something like, write an email to the customer to try and upsell him for the VIP package or something, right? Does that work? Let's see. I guess we'll find out. This is probably the fun part about working with AI is you're like, what's going to come out the other end?
Right.
Nice. Jason, do you have any chatbot use cases you think that would be nice for your business?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm wondering if this is something that we could use for sort of ad hoc reporting or just information that users might need about the record or related data, just sort of ad hoc. Although that might be a super simplified use case it's the first thing that comes to mind right now.
Yeah, we can definitely use Records Chat to pull that sort of information if it's not easily accessible on the interface. We're also working on expanding this capability, like I mentioned earlier, to chat across all of the records within type or all of the types, and then kind of use AI to actually do, more calculations. So things that you would write an expression rule to do, for instance, maybe allowing the end user to use AI to do that sort of thing as well, and looking up more complex information across various sources.
Yeah, that would be amazing, actually. Yeah, the ability to perform calculations, especially going back to the financial stuff that I was referring to earlier. Being able to perform calculations, aggregate data, things like that would be pretty powerful, especially for the users who love to, so to give a little bit of context, our users are analysts who are sort of they like to tinker, so they build a lot of stuff on Excel and stuff like that. So giving them this ability would be pretty amazing.
Awesome.
I feel like those are people ripe to become Appian developers, Jason. You got to do some evangelism there.
Yeah, no, they are. And I think, and I don't know if I'll mention this tomorrow, right? But like, I think that was part of the pitch, I guess, for Fitch to use Appian, is the fact that we have so many tinkerers, who are non-techies on the team or at the company. I mean, and yeah, the sort of citizen developer concept was definitely a heavy influence there.
Cool. So I'm excited to see a bunch of new developer certifications coming out of Fitch. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, so this is very cool. We are gonna just quickly go over a couple more things. So one is, is this a portal? No, this is, oh goodness. With portals, we're used to seeing kind of the branding preview there, and now we have it with sites too. So I feel like this is kind of funny because I feel like the portals designer has been trying to catch up to sites designer, and now this is a case where sites designer gets an upgrade that portals designer had first. What do you think? Is that a fair assessment? Yeah, so this is just an easier way to kind of check how things are going to look versus having to always go to the next tab. And if you're like me, you always have too many tabs open and get lost. So this definitely makes life easier. Jason, how many sites do you have in your application across all your applications? Or do you have like one massive site that you just try to put everything on?
That's over at Fitch. So I've dealt with at other companies, we've dealt with applications that have multiple sites. We'll have like a landing page that lets you navigate into different applications and stuff like that. But yeah, for the most part, most of our applications at Fitch are like one site, maybe. Yeah, we'll have like a pane on the side that links to like a Confluence page. But yeah, we don't really go too crazy on the sites. It's mostly just your landing page and records.
Now with like page groups and stuff, sites are just becoming more and more powerful. You just make whatever you want, which is exciting. All right, Gabby, I'm gonna throw it back to you for another AI one. So say we want to, when people make an order, they can go log in and they want a little message about like how many days until their event, or if it's the day of their event, they want something. If it's the event has passed, then hey, why don't you leave a review? So when you have cases like this where you have like a lot of nested ifs or there's different cases, it's really annoying to create test cases. But now I see the little sparkles. Tell me about the sparkles.
So another awesome developer Copilot AI feature is the ability to generate test cases based on your expression rule. So you don't have to do anything besides click that button, and then it will generate test cases for you to be able to review, so that you're following best practices, that each rule has at least one test case. Ideally, it has more, as we have indicated here, to test all of the different conditions. And so, yeah, again, saving you a lot of time and also ensuring quality within your applications and making sure nothing breaks unexpectedly.
Yeah, Jason, what's your reaction to this?
This and the ad hoc constant creation, maybe no. I mean, this one and the sample data are the two favorite ones that I saw at Appian World, especially because sometimes developers, or you'll come into a code base that has 0 tests, from a previous developer, obviously nobody who I work with still, but so having to go back and like reach out to people to understand what we should set up test cases as and all that stuff, it can be a pain. So something like this is like Gabby said, ensuring quality too is a big deal.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a game changer. Gabby, are there any things considerations when writing to help the AI generate test cases? Like is it helpful for my variables to have like very easy to understand names or anything like that maybe you can give tips on?
Yeah, I think so. A limitation of this is that um, we can only generate test cases for expression rules. I'm sorry, I'm just reading off some
No,
notes that I was given, but I'm going to move them over here so it looks less awkward. Of primitive data type. So we've disabled this button for rules with more complex rule inputs like records, CDTs, map, or any type. And then we also have two assertion types, so complete without errors, and then the test outputs. The test output matches the asserted output. So I would say, whenever you're working with AI, always best practice to keep it simple. It's kind of like a human coming in to understand this expression rule, depending on the level that they're kind of trained at as a developer. And so if you're able to use clear language that indicates what each step is supposed to do, you definitely have a much more higher likelihood that the AI will succeed in generating successful test cases for you.
Yeah, I definitely have. It's been a learning journey for me with AI, and I remember the first times trying to use ChatGPT, I would just give it like a few words and be like, "Can you do this?" And then it's like realizing more and more, like if I provide better context or clearer instructions, it's going to be able to provide a better output to me. And so we're not quite at the point where it can just read my mind and give me what I want, but we're getting there.
Speaking of context,
Yeah.
would this be able to review any existing test cases and sort of extrapolate from those?
So not today. Today it's purely based on the content within the expression itself.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
it's just generating, right? Like it's not reviewing the existing ones, but similar to the generate data that you have on the records, like even though I've already generated some, I can generate more, or like I can press the generate test case again, right? If I make changes. So it's not like, oh, I can only do it in the beginning or anything like that. So could be something fun to play around with and go through all your expressions and see, how well it does at adding some new ones.
Actually, yeah. So if we clicked the button again, would it generate the same ones or would it create entirely new ones?
Well, I think in this case, just because it's like a pretty simple expression with like very clear outputs, I feel like it would probably be the same.
Okay.
Oh, I guess it is smart. It's adding another one for
Oh,
if
wow.
the
Okay.
event's more than a week in the future.
Yeah, so it won't generate additional test cases outside of the ones that you've added. If you have ones that handle like those conditions already.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think Gabby, doesn't it look for some like pretty common types of things like, oh, make sure that you handle nulls and make sure you handle like different types and things like that.
Yeah, definitely the very basic things that are annoying to do that a lot of people don't do. Will take just a few seconds to handle those things.
Yeah. Very exciting. Jason, I like to talk about this. I'm going to ask you the question, which is, how fast now with all the new features do you think you could build your Academy project from 6 years ago that took you 2 weeks?
Oof.
Because I feel like it's a couple hours for me.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like, give me, a couple of hours, maybe a day at max. I'll add a little bit of garnish to it as well. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, like the test case creation, the sample data generation, all that stuff is like mind blowing, honestly.
Yeah. Look, blowing minds, automation group. Look at you guys.
Happy to hear it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna like clean up the flow of the build a little bit before tomorrow and kind of like reset some of this. Does anyone have any thoughts or notes about something that could be helpful, or I don't know? Any notes, feedback, thoughts? We'll also tomorrow like take some audience questions and like sprinkle other things into the conversation as well. But I think that there was some nice, dynamic conversation happening. And Jason, like you are doing like the things that I think it's why it's valuable to have you on with the PMs is to be able to ask those questions and kind of be the voice of the people, you know.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's a lot of pressure, but
No
yeah.
pressure. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, like all this new stuff is like it's going to be used 100%, right? Like that's what I'm most excited for, because sometimes you have to look for like situations where you might be able to fit something in, but this is like day one. As soon as we have, you know, the access to it, I'm pushing for it.
Save this blurb for tomorrow. You have some gems you need to make sure you, and like, yes, also that.
Wow.
I'll shed a tear or something when I see the test case page. Yeah. Yeah, and I'll also try and make my picture not look like I'm in a dungeon like I am right now. It's
and also in terms of the quality, Video Ninja does lower the quality for us, but it pushes it out at a higher quality than what we're seeing, right? So now you guys look like grainy to me, but when it pushes it out to YouTube, it's like much better quality.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. It is so beautiful.
Gotta meet that office mandate, you know. Well, I'm leaving, so.
Exactly. So, you know.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Cool. Any other questions or thoughts or anything?
Really good. It's be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's chill.
Yeah.
It's chill. And it always goes more smoothly than it does in rehearsal, which Pete can attest to.
Yeah.
That's why we do this and just like walk through it, so we know.
Well, you're a pro, April. You make it easy for us. So.
No. Cool. All right. Well, I guess if you think of any other questions between now and tomorrow morning, feel free to email me. But yeah,